Hey everyone, Blugoblin here, or you can call me Deadpool. I'm here, I'm back from my little hiatus. What happened was, we moved to location. I used to sleep downstairs and I was sleeping upstairs. And we just got so busy, I just didn't have time to even read these books. So I'm going to do 2 weeks in one giant-sized video. I'm going to review 2 stacks of books from the middle of July 2016. I figured big return about sprouting a new look. Alright. I'm going to start with the week of the 13th, I believe, and then go on to the week of the 20th. So, I'm going to try and get this done as fast as I possibly can. We're going to start with Marvel on this stack. We're going to start with all new X-Men number 11. Hopeless and Bagley continue to do an excellent job with this. This is another part of the Apocalypse Wars. Long story short, Evan and Hank they have 2 opposing opinions here in this book. You know, Evan wants to stop Apocalypse from being created, thus dooming himself, but bettering human and mutant kind, while Hank just wants to let things happen the way they happen. You know, it's a point of view problem done on a massive scale. Good stuff. I enjoyed it. It gets 3.5. Right there. Let's keep moving with Civil War II, number 3. Oh shit. I think this would have been my pick of the week had I reviewed this on time. But oh shit, this was so good. This was so good. This issue right here should help you better understand whose side are you on. Are you on Iron Man's side, or are you on Captain Marvel's side in this whole thing? Where you got Captain Marvel who wants to, you know, take authority into her own hands, and if she's given a premonition that something bad is going to happen, she should try within all her power to stop it from happening, thus taking the law and authority into her own hands. Although you got Tony Stark, you got Iron Man who says, you know, if it's meant to happen, just let it happen. And, you know, this all stems off of Ulysses' big vision of the Hulk literally killing everyone. So, of course, who's the first one to take action? It's Carol. She takes action and she goes and confronts Bruce Banner, and everybody gangs up on him. Everybody, both sides of the argument, they all just gang up on him, and it's taking a tone on Bruce Banner's anxiety. And we all know what's going to happen, you know, when Bruce gets agitated enough, and then boom, big bombshell happens with Clint putting Bruce down. You know, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it for you, but this issue's been out for a while, and I'm sure everybody already knows what happened. But Jesus Christ, what a monumentally painful issue in terms of drama, in terms of character development and storytelling. Just very massive stuff. The artwork, again, was incredible, and you can just see the emotional pain on Tony's face when Bruce dies. Just fucking incredible stuff. This is fantastic stuff. I love it. This easily gets a 4. Set this over here. Let's keep it rolling with Civil War II, The Amazing Spider-Man number 2. Christos Gage. I believe it was, yeah, Christos Gage. Travel Foreman's artwork in here is actually really good. This issue heavily tells a story about Clayton Cole, aka Clash, one of Spider-Man's original adversaries, according to Marvel. But in here, we see Clayton. Everybody just treats this dude like complete shit. I mean, you know, forget about calling him Clash. I mean, he should have called himself Doormat, because that's basically what he's treated like. And you kind of want to feel for the guy. But at the same time, some of the shit that he did wrong, he brought it upon himself. You know, he's kind of sympathetic, but then kind of not. You know, and you also want to feel for Peter, because because Peter really wants to help this guy out. You know, mentor him, guide him, and it's just falling on deaf ears. Wow, just good stuff. Really good. I dig it. I'm loving it. Gets a 4 from me. Let's keep it rolling with Civil War II Gods of War #2. Jesus, is more of the drama. I mean, this entire storyline of Civil War II, even within the main story and all the tie-ins and stuff, it weighs heavily on the readers with the drama. You know, Herc gets the Gods of War together, and it's a team of mythological heroes from the past who are still around in the modern day times. And I like the fact that they don't hardly get along at all. You know, it's like, I'll work with you. It's kind of like one of those situations where the team members are working together and they go, okay, I'll work with you if you stop being such a dick. It adds to the story. It adds to the dilemma that Herc and his team are going through. But then by the end of the issue, this lame-ass fucking villain, who I can't remember the name of, is kind of like Arcade's bastard stepchild that he doesn't want to talk about. You know, he's kind of like that, and his touch has now taken Herc over, and he's just becoming a rampaging monster by the end of the issue. It just, yeah, 3.5. Let's keep moving. Daredevil #9. Daredevil. Oh man, Charles Soule, fucking awesome. I always look forward to when Matt and Spider-Man, when Matt and Pete work together. It's just their chemistry together, it just works. I mean, it really does. Just great stuff. I love the one-liners that they have between each other. You know, Matt's, you know, going undercover in this casino, and, you know, Pete's like, wait a minute, I thought you said that only the high rollers can get in here. He's like, yeah, I did. Just like, fucking douche. You know, fucking douchey acting from Matt. This is really cool stuff. Yeah. But then by the end of the issue, you know, Pete's like, I don't know if I should trust you now. And there's this whole, you know, questioning of trust. But Peter does it the only way I'm sure he can, by acting like a buffoon and acting like an ass toward Matt. And it's just good stuff. Good writing, good storytelling. All kinds of crazy shit's going on in here. The action is good. I mean, just whenever Daredevil and Spider-Man get together, 9 times out of 10, I'm there. Just good stuff. He gets a 4. Alright, next up, Guardians of the Galaxy #10. Another one of those simplistic yet beautiful covers. You know, sometimes the whole classic team running towards the reader kind of simplistic cover, sometimes that just never gets old. Sometimes it never. That didn't make any sense. But there's just something about it. It just seems to age well. I mean, God knows we've had plenty of cover like this, but enough about that shit. On to the interior of the issue. Good stuff. Bendis does some good writing. Scheide does some great artwork in here as well. It's basically the Guardians go on a rescue mission to rescue Peter, Star-Lord. And I wouldn't be me if I didn't mention this. Me being a big wrestling fan, which, by the way, I mean to also get caught up on wrestling-related videos for Blugoblin X and for Arkham Asylum Studio. Just need to find the time to do it. But in here, we see a couple of wrestling hyperboles in the fact that during a fight that Will is forced to take part in, We see him dropping an elbow, yelling, "Snapping to Slim Jim." He's like channeling his inner Randy Savage. And then as he's getting rescued, I swear to God, I'm not making this up, he goes into the whole yes, 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 yes. I'm like, oh fuck. The yes chant has made it fully into pop culture. The yes chant has done something that the what chant couldn't do. It has now become a part of pop culture outside of pro wrestling. Fucking awesome. The rest of the book is just great stuff. Bendis knows how to write these characters. He knows how to develop them. He knows how to work with them. Just good stuff. Love it. Gets a 4. Ending Marvel for this pile with Gwenpool number 4. Long story short, Gwen is basically telling MODOK, take this job and shove it. Right after he tries to fire her. We get a Pokemon reference in here, and it was just batshit crazy. I still stand by my opinion that this is Marvel's answer to Harley Quinn, to the Harley Quinn series that DC does. It's not nearly as goofy as Harley Quinn can get, but I can see similarities between Gwenpool and Harley Quinn. Some, not too much, but this is just a little bit. Kind of like 17%. Fuck it, 3.5. Let's go on to the indies starting with IDW. Back to the Future number 10. By the way, I'm loving these little tributes to the late great Darwin Cook on the back of these books. That's just an awesome touch. Rest in peace, Darwin. True artist. But anyway, this is the next part of the what the fuck is this? Continuum Conundrum. This is part 5 of that storyline. You know, Doc's recalling more and more memories about what he's been trying to do. This is more backstory telling, more exposition leading up to, I believe that's what it is. It's leading up to how he came to, you know, be in the presence of Marty and Jennifer in that scuba suit without having any memories. And then by the end of the book, Griff's gonna get you. Yeesh. Crazy roller coaster storytelling. Sometimes it wasn't perfect, but it still feels like Back to the Future kind of shit. And they did a good job for what it was. I mean, hell, it's done by Bob Gale, same guy that did the fucking movies. So at least the right person's doing these stories. It was good, but just not good enough to make me go, yeah, great. Give it maybe a 3.5 at the highest, or maybe just a 3. Now, if Civil War II didn't come out on this pile, this could have been Pick of the Week. This is from Joe Books Limited. It's from Disney Comics. It is Darkwing Duck number 3. Woo! This is part 3 of Orange is the New Purple. By the way, I love this little picture on the back with Gosling. You know, I was coming to save you, you know. Yeah, I got bored, so I saved myself. True to character. Sparrow and Silvani did a fantastic job with this. I mean, everything was done right. The character development, the character interactions, primarily with DW and Gosling, just good stuff. Negadoug just fucking kills it as the villain. Just great stuff. Love the little dumbass anchorman who can't get anybody's names right, and it's like further insinuating, oh, he got the job because he's the boss's kid and all that kind of stuff. It's just fun stuff. Some more, you know, not so known villains make appearances in here, including one that's got this like psychotic, like mad love crush on Darkwing. It's just funny stuff, great. I love it. Any fan, any guy, any person, boy, girl, doesn't matter. Anybody who grew up with Darkwing Duck, I guarantee you will appreciate this without hesitation. It's just good stuff. I love it. 4. Alright, next up, from Aftershock Comics, this is Insects number 6. This issue was gruesome. Decapitations, cannibalism from bug-like creatures and everything. It was just, this issue was, That doesn't mean it was bad. It's still really good stuff. Marjorie Bennett still nails it. It's just very fantastic. I'm a little sad that it's ending in the next issue. I believe it's only going to be like a 7-issue miniseries, which that's okay. But this is, you know, credited as Marjorie Bennett's first creatively owned work. You know, this is something that she worked on, that she herself created. And Miss Bennett, I gotta say, if you're watching, you did a great job. Awesome writing, good artwork. Some of the artwork, though, did look a little scratchy in some panels, but it's fine. You know, I guess it can work with the kind of storytelling we got in this issue. But just a lot of gruesome moments in here. Not much else to say. I'll give it a 3.5. All right. Let's keep going along with DC Action Comics number 959. The rampaging Doomsday is continuing to tear through Metropolis. We got Superman. We got Lex Luthor dressed up as Superman. Fucking dick. And we got a human Clark Kent who suffers a broken arm in here. Got all kinds of crazy shit going on in here. They're like, what the fuck is going on? How is there a Superman and a Clark Kent here at the same time? It's like the New 52 Superman is dead. He's buried. He's in the dirt. But we got a human Clark Kent who is just as obsessed with getting a good story as Lois once was. And he keeps denying that he's Superman. He's acting like he doesn't know anything about it. We don't know what's going on. I hope to God it's not a fucking clone. But yeah, just rampaging monster action. And there's always that fear. You know, Doomsday killed Superman. Of course, he came back, of course. But there's always that fear. Is he going to kill Superman again? And then that cliffhanger of Doomsday about to gun down Clark at the end. Of course, we all know where that goes, but I'm not going to spoil it this time. But great stuff. Dan Jurgens clearly knows how to write a good Superman comic. Awesome stuff. It gets a 4. Let's go on to Bombshells number 15. Once again, Marjorie Bennett does a good job with this. I love the stuff with Arthur and Mara in here. The stuff with Harley and Ivy was really cute. The stuff with Batwoman was good. Just continues to be a cute and a very fun series. I've been loving it from issue to issue. I mean, not every issue was a 5-star classic, but it's still continuing to be very good. And after seeing the cliffhanger in this issue, I'm really interested in where Bennett can take this as the series keeps going along. You know, considering the fact, you know, we have a lot of openly lesbian characters in this title. You got Batwoman, Big Barda, Dr. Light, Harley, and Ivy. That's 5 that I can count right off the top of my head. 5 openly lesbian characters, and there's going to be, at the cliffhanger, there's going to be more interaction between them, amongst them, and I'm wondering, where can they go with this? Could there be some more drama, some more tension between the characters and stuff like that? Not to mention, what's going to go on with Arthur and Mira later on down the line? What's going on with Wonder Woman, Batgirl, all kinds of stuff. It's just very fun stuff. I'm just loving every bit of it. Gets a 3.5, maybe even a 4. Detective Comics number 936. Tonight on the 4th, Martinez. Something we don't see very often happens in here. Batman gets defeated. He's confronted by this group of people dressed up like kind of like Batman-ish soldiers, and it's, you know, Tim, Batwoman, Clayface, Spoiler, and Orphan. The rest of the Batman team, they're shown on footage in the Batcave or on the Batcomputer or whatever the fuck, that these group of people, they actually whoop Batman's ass. They beat him, they capture him and take him. We don't see that very often. It's nice to see a hero kind of come off looking like an underdog from time to time, even when, and at times the character can become so overrated. Just really good stuff, and you see the rest of the team trying to think of a way that they can help Batman, you know, but not do it in a very foolish way. And Kate, Batwoman, actually goes to someone for help, and it bites her right dead in the ass. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it because it's been out for a while. I'm sure you already know what's going on. She goes to her dad, and then we find out that her dad is one of the main antagonists that organized the attack on Batman. Bastard. Good stuff. Gets a 4. Earth 2 Society number 14. I don't know. So many heroes don't want to be here. They don't want the heroic title, yet they're still doing the heroics. You got Alan Sky willingly sacrificing his powers to maintain energy on the planet, yet he kind of, sort of, I don't know, regrets it, maybe, kind of, I don't know. And then you got, you know, children from the dead Earth 2 coming in and helping the Mega Humanite and help invade the new Earth 2, and then all of a sudden, Batman, Dick Grayson, finds his kid at the end of the issue. Whoop-de-fucking-do! I don't know. 3 at the best. The Flash, number 2. This is great shit. Flash gets a new partner, a new sidekick, call it whatever you want. And I done forgot the fucker's name. Let's see. What is he calling himself? Shit. I promise I've read this fucking thing. Does he call himself Godspeed or? Whatever, but the fact is, he's a fellow cop who works with Barry, and when he makes his big arrival, his big debut, if you want to say, I like how him and Barry take these fuckers down. You know, he's like, you have the right to remain, pow, silent, and it's just really good stuff. And he's like, they're like, who are you supposed to be? He's like, I'm the Flash's new partner. And Barry's like, partner? Like the sound of that. You should, Barry. You should like the sound of that. You've had partners in the past. Wally, your nephew, both Wally Wests, your grandkids have worked with you. Shit. I like the sound of that. Fuck you. You need to like the sound of that. You've done this before. But Very fun issue. Writing's good. Artwork's kind of hit and miss with me at some points, but it's good for what it is. I'll give it a 3.5. Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps #1. Or, excuse me, Rebirth. Not #1, it's the Rebirth issue. And it says 1, but it's Rebirth. What the fuck ever. Venditti and Van Sciver. Great stuff. And it's basically Hal giving up the gauntlet that he stole and reforging a Green Lantern power ring and reprising his role as Green Lantern of Sector 2814. And his mission: track down and find the rest of the Green Lantern Corps. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty much what the gist of this book is. But at the same time, I have to be honest, it does kind of feel like a love letter from DC to Hal Jordan. It really did come off that way. It's like nobody's better at being a Green Lantern than Hal Jordan, says us. Whatever. But it was still good. I liked it. I'm gonna stick with this title, see where it goes. But as a rebirth, it's not bad. It doesn't really feel like a new beginning. It just feels like a continuation. But just gotta go with what you got. It's a 3.5. Legend of Wonder Woman #8. DeLiz and Dylan. This series still suffers from having way too much dialogue and not enough action to help support the storytelling, but it's still fun for the most part, and the artwork is still very, very beautifully cute, but it's pretty much gives me the same feeling that all the other issues have been giving me, is like there's more talk and less action, and it kind of makes the story drag a little bit at times, but it's still fun. This issue was still fun for what it was, and I dug it. It was fine. You know, Wonder Woman trying to, you know, cope without having any powers and stuff like that. Just take it for what it is. I'll be nice, give it a 3, maybe a 3.5. Nightwing Rebirth. First of all, it's good to see Dick Grayson as Nightwing again. I mean, it is the role that suits him. You know, he was the original Robin, but every kid has to grow up, and when he grew up, he made his own character, his own identity, and it just has stuck with him ever since he started it. And you know, he's been Robin, he's been Nightwing, he's been Batman, he's been a secret agent, but for me, the role that makes Dick Grayson click is Nightwing. And I liked how, I'm not going to spoil this one, I liked how they got Dick Grayson back into being Nightwing. I really dug it. It was just really fun stuff. You know, it's like, it's good to see that he's no longer has to fake his death anymore. He's now free and willing to work alongside the Bat family again, and it's just really refreshing. Good stuff. Gets a 4. I loved it that much. Ending this pile with Wonder Woman #2. This is part 1 of year 1. You know, Wonder Woman, since it's done twice monthly, it's going to shift from story to story. This is part 1 of year 1, and part 2 will be in issue 4, whereas issue 3 will be the next part of the other story that started with issue 1. I hope you can remember that, because I sure as fuck can't. But yeah, year 1, it's, you know, basically, I don't want to say it's another retelling of Diana's origin. It's more like Diana's rookie years before she left Themyscira and everything like that. It really does feel that way at times. It's not completely Diana's origin, but it's like her life in Themyscira, and the issue ends with her finding Steve Trevor's wrecked plane on Themyscira. So it's not a retelling of the origin, it's just it's her rookie days and the stuff that we don't completely know about so far. And it's good. It's good. I'm kind of liking the other story just a little bit better, but this was good for what it was. You know, I mean, it's Greg Rucka and Nicola Scott. Fucking great creative team for this title. Who knows? Part 2 might be awesome. But as far as this issue goes, it was good. I'll give it a 3.5. Alright, that's it for the 13th, the week of the 13th. Now it's time for the week of the 20th. All New Wolverine number 10. Tom Taylor. Ooh, great shit. Great shit. This does tie into Civil War 2. Ulysses has a vision of Old Man Logan killing Laura. That's the big revelation at the end of the issue. I'm sorry I just spoiled that, but I kind of feel like I had to explain why I thought this issue was so good. Seeing these three characters, Laura, Gabby, and Logan, working so well together. You know, Gabby's kind of like the clone, not granddaughter to Logan. You know, Logan does not want to be called Wolverine. Laura has earned that title. She is Wolverine. And it's, you know, Logan's actually kind of lightened up a little bit. He's like, you know, damn it, it's good to see you again, kind of thing. And it's just good stuff. Taylor does a great job with it, and I'm loving it. It gets a 3.5. Darth Vader 23. Yeah. Darth Vader. What a badass character. What a badass villain. A badass sympathetic villain. Damn. It's just one of those scenarios in storytelling. It's been done a lot. But this one in particular was really good. He finds a way to get through all the horse shit and get to his prime directive, to hunt down the traitor. And once he finally arrives and finally reaches the pinnacle of this priority, wouldn't you know it, with the push of a button, it all goes to shit. It goes to shit for Vader, and by the end of the issue, Vader is literally helpless. And I'm just reading this going, what the fuck's gonna happen in the next part? Oh my god. Awesome book. Awesome issue. Good stuff. Then once again, I'm going to say it again, we need to get the 000 Matrix into a movie. It needs to happen. An easy 4. Spider-Man number 6, Bendis, and we got Leon here on Nico Leon on the artwork. This is a continuation of the storyline in which Miles' grandmother hired a PI to keep track on him to see what kind of life he is living, because his psycho grandmother believes he's a drug addict, and that's why he's slipping in grades and everything. So who did she hire? She hired Jessica Jones. And I thought this was the right time to bring this character back in from obscurity, thanks to that whole Netflix show that was awesome, by the way. It's basically Marvel Comics saying, "Get back here, Jessica." But yeah. Miles' parents, they have a really deep discussion. It's like we need to call off this PI. I mean, you know, his grandmother overstepped her boundaries. She had no right to do this shit and everything like that. And then by the end, Miles' mother is confronting Jessica, and she's like, "Tell me my son's secret. What did you find out?" It's just good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, Not a lot of action in here, but there is a lot of drama. The drama really sells this issue. I loved it. It gets a 4. Spider-Man Deadpool #7. Oh my god. This was ridiculous. Gary Dugan and Scott Koblish. This is a so-called lost story from The Amazing Spider-Man back in the late 1960s. And I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the stuff in here. Let me get a good picture here. Good picture. Come on. God damn it. This is Deadpool from the late 60s. And I love the artwork in here. The artwork in here is kind of like a massive tribute to the old school comics of the 60s. You know, sometimes the color is off, is outside the line, sometimes the panels are blurry and everything. It really feels, the artwork tries to make it look like an old comic book. And it was alright for what it was. It was still ridiculous. But the material, it does seem a little bit dated, but I still think any big fans of Spider-Man and Deadpool, I think, would still enjoy this. I'm just looking forward to Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness getting back on the title. I mean, no offense to everybody else who's been working on it so far, but you need to give it back to Kelly. But this issue was fine for what it was. I'll give it a 3.5. Star Wars #21. Jason Aaron. Damn. Writing is so good. Jorge Molina's artwork is really good. This was basically a one-and-done salute to the Empire. And it was it kind of felt like propaganda for the Empire. You know, how awesome would it be to be a stormtrooper? Yeah, that's kind of what this issue felt like. And it's like, this issue did a great job of making the stormtroopers look incredibly badass. And I loved it. Great. I mean, let's take a break from Luke, Leia, and Han Solo, and let's take a look at the stormtroopers. Let's give a little root for the bad guys. And it was very, very well done. Not much else to say about it. It gets a 4. All right, Uncanny X-Men number 610 or number 10, depending on how you want to look at it. Cullen Bunn and Ken Lashley. Yeah, Ken Lashley. Oh man. And a bunch of archangels swooped down to the earth today. Oh. You know, it's like we're seeing Warren Worthington and Archangel. They have been separated all this time. You know, and they claim to be preparing for the rebirth of Apocalypse. And just all kinds of crazy shit's going on in here. Magneto shines in this book with what he does. I don't want to spoil it. I really don't, but Magneto just has a fucking monumental moment in here. And then Warren makes a huge sacrifice to bring himself back in touch with the Archangel personality. It's just really good. This was actually a really good issue to Uncanny X-Men, and it saddens me that I haven't really been saying that a lot here lately. I mean, you know, Uncanny X-Men is one of the flagship titles of Marvel Comics, and I want to say more and more often that these issues are good, and this is a good issue. But a lot more issues of this series needs to be good. Excuse me. But this was really good. It gets a 4. moving on to DC Aquaman number 3. Dan Edmund. And, oh, last, what's the fucking name? Briones. I'm sorry if I butchered the artist's name, but, oh man. All kinds of crazy shit here. For one thing that I gotta say is this fucking Snickers ad, okay, it was cute the first time I saw it, but do you really need 3 fucking pages to sell a candy bar? I mean, for God's sakes. Wait a minute, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. You need 4 fucking pages to sell a goddamn candy bar. That's ridiculous. But, okay, back to the issue. Aquaman and Mera and the rest of Atlantis have been locked out of their own embassy on the surface world. And they look at it as, you know, I wouldn't say as an act of war, but as an act of dominance from the surface world. It's kind of like I want to say it's kind of like they're being bullied. You know, it's like, I know this is your property, but you can't have it. Kind of, you know, typical of the American government, you know, in the media's eyes, and all that shit. So, Arthur and Mera go straight to DC to straighten this stuff out. Meanwhile, you got some crazy shit going on that they're instantly being blamed for. And by the end of the issue, Arthur's being led out of DC in a fucking handcuffs. Now, that's all well and good storytelling, but there's one thing I noticed in this issue that I really need to point out. DC, do you really think us readers are this fucking stupid? Do you really think we're this dumb? That we wouldn't notice this, or that we wouldn't care at such a little minor detail? You kiss my ass. There's something in here that I saw more than once that I know at least a few friends of mine have noticed, primarily Chris. I know he's noticed it. But Arthur and Mera refer to each other as their fiancé in this issue. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and don't even use the whole rebirth bullshit as an excuse, but last time I checked, these two were already married. What the fuck is this? Are you saying this whole rebirth wave has somehow erased their marriage and they're back to being fiancés? When the fuck did this happen? This is ridiculously stupid. It's a minor thing, but it was heavily noticeable, and it just speaks to how dumb the comic book industry thinks we are, and it's ridiculous. But the book itself, it was fine for what it was. It gets I'll give it a 3.5. But DC, you ought to know us better than that. All right, don't fucking insult our intelligence. Let's move on to Batgirl and the Birds of Prey Rebirth. Julie Benson and Shauna Benson are the writers, and you got Claire Rowe on the artwork. It wouldn't be me if I wasn't brutally honest. I would have preferred to have Gail Simone write this title. I mean, you could have had her. You know, Batgirl was one of her favorite characters to write, and of course Gail was always synonymous with the Birds of Prey. I mean, she was to Birds of Prey what Joe Kelly is to Deadpool. I'm serious. But fine, whatever. If you want to give other creative people a chance at these characters, and let's see what they can do. It's basically, you know, Barbara reconnecting with the former Birds, and you know, there's Huntress in here. At times, she came off a little bit, I don't want to say arrogant. At times, she came off looking like a little bit of a bitch. But the reason why Barbara is pulling the team back together is because there's somebody out there posing as Oracle. And she's trying to get to the bottom of it because she was Oracle. And now there's somebody else using that moniker, using that name, and she's wanting to find out who it was. And she's recalling, you know, her being shot by the Joker, and her rehabilitation, her experimental therapy that got her back to walking again. And to see her reconnect with the birds, it was fun. It was good for what it was. I like it. It gets a 3.5. Moving on to Batman number 3. Tom King and David Finch. Just good stuff in here. This is the next part of I Am Gotham. If I want to say, like, the main gist of this story, of this particular issue, is it's okay to fear. Use that fear. Conquer it. We have some more backstory as to, you know, into the origins of Gotham and Gotham Girl. I'm not completely 100% fond of the fact that DC's already letting the cat out of the bag on who they are. You know, it's like, oh, so much for their mystique, so much for the mystery of the characters, but boom, this is who they are. Okay, kind of hot-shotting it a little bit. You could have gotten more drama as to, you know, who could they be. But they're a brother and sister pair who were in a freak accident, and thus they got their superpowers. Gee, that's really fucking original. Whatever. But the story in here is just really good. I mean, Gotham and Gotham Girl clearly are more powerful than Batman, yet they still highly respect him. They still idolize him. They still want to be him. And it's just solid storytelling, and it's just nothing more than that. I mean, I gotta look at this again because of who we see on the last page, and I'm trying my best to debate whether or not I should spoil it, but I don't think I'm going to. Oh boy. That last the last page of the story. You know what? Fuck it. That's all I'm gonna say. Look at the last page. 4. Green Lanterns number 3. Humphreys, Roca, everybody who worked on this, you're doing a great job. Once again, Simon Boss, Jessica Cruz, as a team of Green Lanterns who were forced to work together, who are forced to share the same battery. This is good stuff. Great storytelling, great writing, great art. The Red Lanterns are coming in to take over, but oh my god, there is a big moment in this issue. Very big moment. Simon Boz has found a way to tap into his willpower and heal. Oh shit. I can't say anymore. I mean, this issue was good. This was really good. The Sea of Rage is spreading fast, and it's like, you know, it's that old school scenario. It's like, we better figure out a plan, and fast, or we're all fucked. And then that last page, Jesus. We had a big moment in the middle of the book, and then by that cliffhanger. Fuck! It gets a 4. Justice League number 1. Yeah. Brian Hitch, Tony Daniel. I gotta say, what better way to start off the new Justice League series officially than having Wonder Woman riding a fucking lightning bolt? I ain't making this shit up. Okay, so apparently she's a god again? I mean, just look at that shit. She's fucking holding lightning. Lightning, for God's sakes. And more of this Snickers shit that I'm glad that they have finally condensed down to one page. But you know, there's some sort of plague kind of thing going around. You know, talking to each member of the Justice League, saying, "You took this, we take it back." And it's kind of like, it kind of looks sort of like a zombie infection, a zombie spread, a little bit. There's some real mental shit going on in here. That's what I'm guessing. I mean, it's really what I'm guessing. But they're called the Kindred, and it's just kind of odd. It's really kind of odd, but what else? It's like, maybe they wanted to start with something odd and keep our interest. And since zombies are popular, let's do something similar to that. Okay, I'm on board. Let's see where you go from here. It gets a 3.5. Ending DC was Superman number 3. Peter Tomasi, Patrick Gleason. You know, call me crazy, but I like seeing Superman as a dad. I really do. It makes him look more realistic, despite the fact he's a goddamn alien. But seeing Superman as a dad, it adds so much to the character. It adds so much to the storytelling that you can get from it. And you know, seeing that his son still has a lot to learn about his powers and everything, but then at the end of the last issue, leading up into here, we saw the return of the Eradicator. And in here, the Eradicator knows exactly what his directive is. Since John, Superman's son, since he is able to use Kryptonian powers, yet his human DNA makes him vulnerable physically. So the Eradicator brashly decides to wipe out his human DNA and make him full Kryptonian. But then, the end of this issue was heartbreakingly painful to look at because of something the Eradicator does. And we have a very heroic moment at the end. An heroic sacrifice. And it actually pained me to look at it. It really did. Considering the type of person that I am, it really hurt. It really honestly hurt to look at it. But that's what helps make the story great. Is that every once in a while, you get these kinds of moments that tug at your heart, but make you want to keep reading. And that's when comic books are truly great. And this is a good example of that. Yeah, considering something that I personally went through not too long ago, and to see something like this happen, it really did. It really honestly got to me. But that doesn't make the story bad. It makes it all the more compelling. When you have a good story that affects the readers, it's a good thing. It's a positive. A very negatively positive thing, if that makes any sense. Superman number 3. Give it a 4 out of 5. Yeah. I'm gonna remember this issue for quite a while. Eradicator. Go fuck yourself. Let's end this with the indies. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 5. This is from Boom Studios. Kyle Higgins, TheMtVernonKid, and Brian Valenza. I apologize if I butchered those names, but in here, this is a great cover, by the way. But in here, this was still early on in the Rangers' days. We're seeing a fight. Megazord wins the battle. The Rangers get the glory and everything. And of course, there might be some dissension amongst the Rangers and some slight jealousy issues in there when Jason gets like 90% of the praise. Everybody just loves the Red Ranger. And it's personally touching Zach. Zach is kind of feeling a little unappreciated for all the heroics he's doing. Of course, you're not supposed to be a hero strictly for the glory. You leave that shit to Booster Gold. But in here, Goldar and Rita, they capture Zach. But instead of torturing him, they want to talk to him. And Rita gives him a monumental offer. In this issue, it's shown that Zach was her original choice for the Dragon Coin. While he's still the Black Ranger. And she says, hey, you still have your morpher. You still have your communicator. You can leave anytime you want. But hear me out. And she tells him about what he can do. It's like, Zordon's only told you his side of the story in our epic war. You don't know everything. And she's continuing to explain to Zach, and Zach's he's actually sticking around to listen. And she offers him the green power coin. She's offering him to trade his Mastodon coin and become her Green Ranger. But she's making promises to him, saying that he'll be a bigger hero than the other Rangers were. He'll have his own powers, he'll have his own Zord, the Dragon Zord, all kinds of stuff. And, you know, it's like, you want to be a bigger hero. I know you want to be a true hero. You know, do everything you can to help save the world. And Zach's like, you're right. I do want to be I do want to be a hero. So Goldar's like, you're making the right choice. He's about to hand over the power coin, and that's when Zach punches him in the goddamn jaw, takes his own coin, and leaves. Basically, telling Rita and Goldar, go fuck yourself. And, you know, just good stuff. I mean, it's like, and Zach's confessing to Zordon privately, confidentially, that he was tempted to take the offer. But does that make him wrong? And Zordon's like, no, you're only human. You know, every human has something dangling in front of their faces, and they're not human if they don't, even for a split second, if they don't think about taking that opportunity. All humans are alike, in a sense that if you dangle something sweet in front of their faces, even if they know not to go for it, they can always think about it. And that was a good lesson in here. Lots of good logic, lots of good morality in here. The artwork in here was kind of but the storytelling was solid. Solid as a rock. Loved it. Gets a 4. We're ending this with Xena Warrior Princess number 4 from Dynamite Comics. Genevieve Valentine, Ariel Medel, and Julius Gopez. Once again, sorry if I mispronounced the names. This series continues to be a little bit odd. Like I said, I would have preferred classic Xena stuff. We don't get Autolycus. We don't get Joxer. We don't get cameos from Hercules or Aeolus. We don't even get cameos from Gabrielle's Amazon tribe. Ephany. We get nothing. We haven't even seen Xena's daughter, Eve, in this time period yet. Ares is still powerless. Aphrodite is missing. There's no gods. And in here, look, the TV show did its shit all the time. Always insinuated, or always implied, the possibility of Xena and Gabrielle being lovers. They always implied it. But in here, it's even further implied. Which, that's fine. If you want to go there, why the fuck not? Go ahead and go there. As long as it continues to make the storytelling good, then fine. Don't just do it for fan service. If you do it strictly for fan service, it's going to make the story suck. You know, Bombshells can do it. You need to think about where you're going with this. And by the end of the issue, we see Gabrielle secretly working with Ares because of a scary premonition that she had had that tells her that Xena may die. Still some weird stuff from here to there. It's not a bad series. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to keep my promise. If it doesn't continue to impress me by issue 10, then I'm done. I want to get a good, even 10 issues in, and by issue 10, if I'm not impressed enough, then that's it. I'm done. This issue wasn't bad. It was fine. I liked it. Just kind of wish I want some more of the old school characters. Yeah, that's just me. It gets a 3.5. Well, oh, that was tough, but I got through it. Thank you for having. I hope you had the patience to go through the whole way through. I hope I don't have to do videos like this very often. But please subscribe to this channel, Blugoblin X, where I do other stuff like Midtown Comics reviews, which I need to get caught up on my Midtown Comics stashes. I also need to get a couple of my wrestling related videos. Jennifer and I do Arkham Asylum Studio. We just uploaded a Ghostbusters Twinkie video that I think you need to check out. The link's in the description, as always. As always, shout outs to TheMtVernonKid, Deadpoolzilla, and Brandon Hex. As always, my buds, follow me here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, wherever you want to go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hail Hydra. I'll see y'all later.